The transfer portal has gone absolutely nuts as of late, and quarterbacks have been the hot talk. In the last few days, though, we found out about 2 more big-time quarterbacks who have now found their next program to be at. The guys are Dillon Gabriel and Adrian Martinez. Gabriel became one of the best quarterbacks in UCF football history and is going to change UCLA right away. The same thing may happen for Adrian Martinez at Kansas State. He was a 4-year starter for the Huskers, and with the Wildcats moving on from Skylar Thompson, it will be time for them to have another quarterback. So in today's video, I want to briefly discuss who these 2 guys are and how they're going to affect each program and may even save their 2022 seasons. But right before we get into it, nearly 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, and we are now on the road to 100K, so quickly be sure to do that. Smash that like button for the algorithm, and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, let's get started. While I'm not a huge fan of this super senior rule, Adrian Martinez is going to get one more crack at Kansas State. He already got 4 years to start, but he'll get another one, and he will be taking his talents to Manhattan, Kansas. Coming out of Fresno, California, Adrian Martinez became a top 300 player and a 4-star quarterback. He originally decided he was going to go play for Tennessee, but when Butch Jones was fired, he decided to reopen his recruitment and eventually went over to Nebraska. Scott Frost was recently hired, and in his first year with the Huskers, Martinez threw for 2,617 yards and 17 touchdowns through the air, with nearly 700 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. While Nebraska did not make a bowl game, there was enough hype for him to be named a Heisman sleeper going into 2019. That's not how it played out. He had his worst season yet. He only completed 59% of his passes, had 10 touchdowns compared to 9 interceptions, and Nebraska once again had a losing record. 2020 was supposed to be a restart for him, but as we all know, the world sort of fell apart, so Martinez did not get a chance to do a whole lot in a limited number of games. He threw for 4 touchdowns and 3 picks. 2021 would finally be the year that Martinez broke out, or so we thought. He ended up passing for nearly 3,000 yards and 14 touchdowns, but still his interception number was high with 10, but he did have a career-high 13 rushing touchdowns. Every year was the same for him. He couldn't get the job done, and Nebraska missed out on a bowl game. So why exactly could he be good for Kansas State? Well, maybe it's because of coaching. I'm not quite sure of a quarterback's coach Scott Frost is, and there was really no one at Nebraska these last few years that really pushed him for his job. If he was at any other school making those kind of mistakes, he'd be benched, but because he was at Nebraska, he seemingly got a pass. He will now take his 10,000 all-purpose yards and 80 touchdowns to Kansas State, and with them moving on from Skylar Thompson, he's going to be a 1-year rental. Will he start? Probably, but will he finish the year? I'm not sure. If Chris Kleiman can get the absolute most out of Martinez, then I actually think there's a chance he could be really good next year. Paired with Deuce Vaughn, it could be one of the best quarterback running back duos in the nation, and the Wildcats seemingly get the most out of all their players, so I do like this fit, and I'm definitely going to be very excited to watch him. Dillon Gabriel, on the other hand, was not that big of a deal coming out of high school. He came out of the Aloha State, and his biggest offer was from UCF. He was only a 3-star player, but he had an instant impact on the program. He would throw for 3,653 yards and 29 touchdowns, and quickly became one of the best freshman quarterbacks in the nation. In 2020, he was expected to have UCF football on top of the world, but the record did suffer a little bit. He threw for 3,570 yards and 32 touchdowns. I feel like that team could have been a little bit better. 2021 under new head coach Gus Malzahn was supposed to be the year, and he started out really strong. He had over 800 yards passing and 11 combined touchdowns in the first few games, but then in a road matchup against Louisville, he ended up getting injured, and it looked like he'd be done for the season. Later, it was announced that he could come back, but at that point, UCF had seemingly moved on from him, and he decided it would be in his best interest to enter the transfer portal. For a while, we thought it was going to come down to Tennessee and Ole Miss. Tennessee had his former head coach Josh Heupel, and if Hendon Hooker had decided to leave, then he would have had an opportunity to play right away. That didn't happen though. Ole Miss, on the other hand, had his former offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby, and with Matt Corral leading for the NFL, he could maybe come in and start right away. But that was quickly eliminated as Lebby took the job at Oklahoma under Brett Venables, so maybe he'd become a Sooner. Nope, he decided to go out to the West Coast, and he had committed to Chip Kelly and the UCLA Bruins. DTR has started seemingly forever for that program, and they had a breakout season this year. Unfortunately, he was a senior, and now they will need a new quarterback. Parker McCrory ended up transferring, and the quarterback battle will likely come down to Gabriel and former Washington transfer Ethan Garbers. They also brought in 4-star quarterback Justin Martin, and while I thought the quarterback room looked a little bit bleak for next year, all of a sudden I think Gabriel's going to come in, save the day, and help Chip Kelly build this program. What do you guys think though? If you're a UCLA or a Kansas State fan, what do you think of these two quarterbacks? Who's a quarterback I could talk about in my next video? And what is a topic you want me to do in a video? Be sure to let me know your answers to those questions down below. Smash that like button for the algorithm, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.